GM Farcaster is all that was really funny.
The
You guys
rebels
are
are at
ready.
the door.
Getting ready on background. You still got to make sure to quell the rebellion. I'm like, can you let them know that we're having some issues? I was trying to get a video uploaded and it was messing me up completely. And then I was getting completely stuck. So anyway, here we are.
It's 8:41. We're 11 minutes late.
We are late. And I got to tweet this and make sure people know we're on. Jesse, can you just pop on for like 2 seconds and like bring us up to like 2,000 viewers? That'd be great. That was so funny the other day. I'm like watching the numbers go up. Like he just has to show up in a room and it's like insane.
It's really nice when Base retweets you.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. Retweet us, Base. And we are going to be chatting about collectibles, and there's so much to talk about with that. We'll have a couple other things we're going to go over with Farcaster news, but mostly we're going to be talking collectibles. So buckle up and we will be back in 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, July 23rd, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. Slightly longer, probably. We've got a lot to talk about, mostly just collectibles. So we will get into that, but we've got a couple other things to do before that. I have to make sure I'm always paranoid that I have lipstick on my teeth. So there you go. Now you got that little moment too. So before we jump into any of that, a little shout out to Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away yesterday. So Crazy Train was actually one of my son's favorite songs to listen to in the car. He would request it when he was like 5. So we listened to a lot of Ozzy and Motley Crue, as a matter of fact. And what was really funny is I forgot about this. Ozzy Osbourne had an NFT project called CryptoBatz. And there is a significant number of people that I know who actually ended up in Web3 because of Ozzy Osbourne. So, and they are now like Cardno is another one. Cardno, who works at POAP, who a lot of people know, like came through the Ozzy door. So that's pretty funny. So this was from SQX. Yeah, I know. This is from SQX. I walk in the door. Wife informs me of Ozzy's death. Unironically onboarded a lot of people to Web3, among many other deeds in his long life. RAP legend. So yeah. So for those who didn't know, there you go. CryptoBatz. It was a thing, and it brought a lot of people into Web3. So Ozzy, among the many things, we'll miss you. And I was watching a little bit of the Osbournes, just some clips yesterday, and every time he yells "Sharon," I would just dive into laughter. It was the funniest thing. There's some like compilations of him just yelling "Sharon," and it's hilarious. So shout out to Sharon and the fam. Anyway, I don't know if you're an Ozzy fan, but I am. So there we go. And today, okay, this is where I'm going to have some issues. Today at noon, I want to remind everybody, we're playing some trivia. So make sure you register. We have, I think, 75,000 DGen up for the prize, and DGen's been going up in value. So who knows where that is right now. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Come play. It's music trivia. And it's going to be a really good one. So come hang out. It's going to be fun. And then this from Brad Q. This is going to be a little slow today. I can feel it already. This is going to be a rough one with my computer. Rewards leaderboard results. So we're going to start with rewards for last week before we dive into all the collectibles fun. So rewards leaderboard results. Bertwurst back at number 1 for maybe only the second time. This is significant in terms of collectibles as well. Trumpty continues her climb to the top 3 at number 2, and Kecker's first time in the top 3, making up for all those 11s. Shout out Goldie Talks first top 10 at number 8. We should note that Jesse.base.eth at number 7 for the first time since early days, and Brian Armstrong at number 20. So funny. First time anywhere near the leaderboard. Now I wonder why these two are up there. TBA when I figure that out. By the way, 20 is also Brian Armstrong's FID. Why do I know this? I just know things. I just know things. Jacob Horn is 8. Nice to see resident philosopher or moral compass July as high as he's ever been, even though it's the dreaded 11 spot. And Afro Chick sneaks in at number 10 after a hiatus. And Jessie Jean takes number 30 for a bunch of extra fries, and she may need to modify that too hot for the leaderboard. Meme coveted 69 goes to Tyke from Noise. And every week we get first time winners, especially on the onboarding picks. Keep an eye out to celebrate with them. So go take a look at Brad Q. He does also shout out the first timers. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I don't know. I think that TBA is also doing some kind of rewards, but we really haven't heard much about that besides there is a leaderboard. It looks like an all-time leaderboard, but I haven't seen how they're doing that exactly. And I didn't see anything yesterday about that. So we'll await to see how that's all going to play out. Moving on. This is a total just fun little note from Linda as related to rewards. You have no idea how excited I am that the US 1099 regulatory threshold is increasing from 600 this year to 2,000 next year. So if you don't understand why that's significant, and there's a note down here from Zero X Caso saying, explain that in European terms. As a US company, if you pay someone more than $600 in a year, you have to collect tax info from them and file a 1099 form. This happens to a lot of people and vendors when operating a company, since 600 is not that high of a threshold. The threshold amount increases to 2,000 next year, and that includes like if you're getting rewards from on the leaderboard. So if you are, then you have to fill out some forms for tax purposes. And if you are getting more than 600, so now with this going up, this means less people have to deal with that. So this is good news. It's also good news for every small business in the world. Okay, let's dive in, Adrian. It's here. So this is the thing I was talking about the other day that I couldn't really talk about that was being tested. So I was in a little test group over the weekend. And I think there ended up being about 50 of us or something at the end because they kept adding people in. There was only a handful of us at first. So I got to see how this was going to play out, and it's playing out exactly how I expected. It's really funny in terms of the bidding. So what it is, new, a collectibles, support your favorite creators by collecting their casts on chain. Each cast can be turned into a unique one-of-one collectible. Just tap the new collect icon on a cast to get started. Casts can be collected starting at $1. If there's multiple collectors, it goes to the highest bidder. Creators get 90% collectible earnings. The remaining 10% goes to the protocol rewards. We're excited about collectibles for a few reasons. Creators earn directly from their audience. 2, new creators can earn on their first day. 3, users get to collect a unique piece of Farcaster history. Collectibles will go live tomorrow. That was yesterday. And it is live and people are collecting. And this is from DWR. Collectibles are now live, mobile only. Update to latest mobile app, restart your app. And sometimes you have to do that a couple times if you're not seeing it. If you're on the latest app, you'll get an in-app flow to opt in or out. So if you're trying to collect somebody's cast and you can't, this might be the reason. Either they haven't opted in yet or they've chosen to opt out. Your casts are now eligible for collecting. Remember, most casts won't be eligible right away. It will take some time for people to opt in. New cast auctions are 24 hours. Historical cast auctions are 7 days. All bids are in USDC with the Farcaster wallet. Do you have that video real quick? Is it in there? Did we get that done?
Totally forgot to do something with that video.
This is the part of the issue we were having earlier. So I couldn't get it to work.
Adrian, you had one job.
You had one job.
Okay,
That
let me
was it.
see.
That was it.
Let's banter. How?
Let's banter. Let's banter.
Oh, I think I got it.
Oh,
Nope.
good.
No,
Okay.
no, it's
No, I just need to remove this, and then that'll come up. It should come up. What happened?
is it still uploading?
Hold on. Try again. We'll try again. It looks like it's up there, but it's not showing, and I don't know why. Let me try a different view. There we go. All right. So it's only available on mobile. So this gives you a little view of how this works. You see this little, what somebody was calling sparks right here, where it says $2. That is what you can click on to collect. Somebody said it's the spark symbol. And I'm using Bertwurst as an example. If you click on that, you can then bid. And the way you bid is by holding down that button that says bid. You have to hold it down. You'll feel a little like similar to when you did with tipping. And
Okay,
then,
raise your hand if you thought bidding wasn't working because you clicked the button 3 times and it didn't work. I'm like, click, click.
Many such cases.
Click.
Many such cases.
Yeah, you got to click and hold.
Click and hold to bid. And then there is a interface that at the top of the screen, either you can get to it from after you bid, but you can also, there's a top button at the top of the right-hand side of the screen. Looks like that same little icon. And this will bring you into this interface where you can see what's trending. There's a trending tab. And then you can also see your own bids, see what you're winning, see what you're outbid on. If you want to go back in and bid against something else, you can see which of your casts are being bid on as well. And check that out as well. Most of these bids on my casts are me bidding on my own stuff. So there you go. All right. So that's the mechanics of how this works. And so if you are, for example, there's a lot of interesting opportunity here if you cast some bangers. Because you can also then cast this on TBA, which is the base app, and it can be collected there as a token that goes onto Zora. And then if you've opted in also on Farcaster, it can be collected as the one of one, same cast. So really interesting opportunities here. And then plus you're earning on activity and things like that as well. So yeah, bid on yourself, spark some interest. Exactly. Spark some interest. Oh, that's interesting. That might be an Android thing. You're right. So Mikado said strange. Mikado, strange enough. I don't have to hold. I just tap and bid. And so I think that is a Android thing. So if you're on iPhone, you probably have to hold it and you get that little bit of a haptic. And if you're not, there you go. So it's, yeah, it is. What do you mean? Yeah, it is.
He's saying if you coin it too, you can coin
if you're coining it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. It's still a one-on-one in terms of the NFT. But yeah, other people can fractionalize it in a whole different way. So really interesting. Lots of choices to be made. So that's a choice. Meta David. I turned it all off. Nobody owns me. That's funny. But it also means you can't collect your own. Just thought.
I see a lot of people opting out. I don't totally understand the reasoning to opt out.
I can for a couple reasons, depending on what you post, like what it is you cast that you might want or not want to have collected. I would love an option to turn it off certain
Per
casts. Yeah, that would be ideal. I think that will happen as a iteration. Because I do like that aspect in the base app that you can, on that particular post, you can turn it off if you don't want it collected. I can see this being an issue for artists is where I see it landing more so than just regular old people on a social network. But I think for some artists that could be, I think for just a number of reasons, there might be women who feel uncomfortable having their casts collected for whatever reason, depending on what you tend to cast, what you tend to post. So I can understand. I can understand that from a little bit. There might be reasons. Meta David, what was your reasons? Tell us. Tell us in the chat why you decided to opt out, or anyone else who may have opted out. I'm curious what
Probably
your reason
creepy
was.
women. He didn't want
Creepy
creepy
women,
women,
obviously.
like, collecting all his thoughts.
Must be it. That must be it. Yeah. So I think it's uh it's an experiment. So we're early in this experiment. Um, it's going to be interesting. I keep your cast in a little box with some flower petals.
Okay, I get
Exactly.
it. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting experiment. Oh, you don't want any push notifications. Okay. That would be, I don't know if you can turn that off in notifications. That's a good point. You might be able to turn it off in notifications as well, but I haven't checked that setting. So now I am curious. But that might be, if it's not, that might be something they need to add in terms of being able to manage your notifications. And it may not be, yeah, I don't think it's collectible cast. You can turn it off. If you go into your notifications, you can turn off the collectible cast notification. So, and there's a couple different places where you can do that. So if that is a concern, you can turn that off if you don't want to be bothered. So there you go. There are some casts that you cannot collect. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is if the person opted out or hasn't yet opted in. So they might just there's something by Gary Tan I want to collect. Adrian knows. It's in our saved cast folder. I've collected it twice in beta on the
Oh.
test net. So I was able to collect it, but he hasn't opted in, so I can't collect it now. So that's interesting. And
How
he
twice?
probably
Did they just reset it during beta? Because it's still
yeah,
one
they
of
need
ones?
they
Okay.
switched a test net. They switched the test net halfway through. So I collected it twice.
You collected it on base and collected it on Monad and collected it on
I collected it in
Optimism and
I think it was just base test net, but twice, like two
Hmm.
different test net things or whatever. Um, and then I think the other thing that happens is there are certain casts that just can't be collected. And I'm not exactly sure why. Um, so for example, Wow Wow cannot be collected. You can't collect the cast, you can't collect Dan's reply, like that Wow Wow reply, Dan's reply to the Wow Wow, or the original cast. None of them are collectible, and it's something's weird and off, and I think it's because it somehow got disconnected to a channel, or the channel's gone, or something. So there's some
Oh.
weird things that, like, if you come across one that you just can't collect, I would tag it, because it's probably because the owner hasn't opted in, but there might be another reason. So if you're like, no, this person definitely opted in, you're not sure, just tag it and see. Tag Horsefax and see if he can figure it out. But yeah, so it's interesting. Some people are like, why would I want to collect this? And I also knew exactly which ones were going to end up being the targets. Mole was the top collected cast during testnet.
It's like
By
third.
far.
It's not top in
I
real
know it's
life,
not top. I
but there's still
know.
a week. There's still it's a
Still a
full
week to
week to
go.
settle.
Yeah, it's a week to go. Way too long. I've already given that feedback. Way too long on the auction. A week is way too long for any auction. A day, 24 hours is longest. They wanted to give people time because it's new. So on the old casts,
That's
on the
only
like
old cast.
classic,
Anything
yeah,
new is defaulted to
24
a
hours.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. But I still think even the old casts, it should be shorter.
Right.
Um, but funny, yeah, the Mole one was the top one collected during the test net, and it was 22,000 or something crazy from Christopher of like testnet USDC, but really funny. Well, some people don't come into Farcaster every day. I don't understand. What are you saying? I don't get that. What? Why? I don't understand. Why wouldn't they? They're stupid, but they exist. How dare they? How dare they? Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see which one goes for the most, and then also who gets collected the most. And my bet, besides Dan, is Bertwurst. And everybody needs a Bertwurst in their wallet. So go grab one. I like Bert's just like randomly dropping things now that are old ones, old puppy photos. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna leave this here. See who bids on it. And all of us are like, yes. Yes, I'm on it. I think I've got like, if you look in that video, I think I have 5 different Bert casts or something that I'm bidding on. You can see them in there. They're like me, and they're either mine that I'm bidding on mostly, or I'm bidding on there's the Molly one. By
I
the
want the
way, nice
Mole.
bidding. I know, go get it.
Woj outbid me overnight, but I reminded him it's a marathon, not a sprint. I can go
Got a long way to go.
I can go days. Also, if he wasn't paying attention, my MO is just to keep bidding on things I know I'm gonna be outbid on
Yeah,
because it benefits the protocol.
it does. This is very
Um,
smart. You are what we call a market maker in nouns. We've had a few of them over the years
it's a
where they were willing to bid
chaos
up the
agent.
bid. Yes, you're a chaos agent. You are now, yeah, we'll call you Will from now on.
I
Will
don't know who
Price. Will Price used to do that way
no.
back in the day. There's certain people who would bid things up, and they were just willing to do that because they were willing to win it if, someone didn't
Happy to.
outbid them.
Yep.
Yeah, so they were willing to bid that up to a certain level to keep the floor.
So I can't remember if is it 90-10, the casts the revenue for the auction.
Yes,
So it's
90-10.
90% to the creator, the cast author, 10% to the protocol.
Right. So I'm gonna guess that Dan and V, with their casts being collected, will just put it back into the protocol, but maybe not.
Oh,
Because Dan's getting collected a lot.
I misunderstood the question. Right. It's like
Yeah.
their 90% of their ridiculous amount of
Yes.
I don't know,
I need to
maybe they're
move
gonna
this.
take their wives out on a date night.
Maybe. I
Maybe they're
mean,
gonna go
they
buy
earned
a
it.
watch.
Maybe he's gonna buy a watch. He needs another watch. A few other things on this. For developers, Farcaster Collectibles, on-chain stuff is on Base. Bids are USDC. To start, you need to use the Farcaster app wallet to bid, and FID is required to bid. So in other words, they're saying like, if you're going to create something that works off of this, just to let you know, auction logic is off chain, so we can iterate faster. So I'm assuming it's on hubs. When auction ends, settlement of bids is on chain. Collectible gets created on chain. NFT is a single collection. We're thinking about it. NFT metadata, public APIs for auctions, other developer Legos. If collectibles is working, subjective, we'll take some time to figure this out. We'll figure out how to make more protocolized and easy for other clients that would want to add. Eventually, auction logic could also be on chain after we're confident in the right configuration. If you're interested in building something, reply here. So if you want to build something related to this collectibles mechanic, let Dan know what you're thinking so they can get you there. It was also funny, and I got to find the cast first, where Horsefax said something about there was some kind of, oh no, Horsefax replied to you about the on-chain, off-chain logic, and what they were doing. And you said you'll have to explain it to me. And I'm like, I think on this one, I might be the one explaining because this one is auction logic, which I have some familiarity with, just a tad. This is a lot of auction logic comes from Nouns and Zora. So it's something that, yeah, I've had a little bit of experience with. So this is from Horsefax. I've seen a few people mention that the auction is off chain, but in fact, all auction mechanisms are in a smart contract that handles bidding escrow, refunds, and settlements, similar to Noun's Zora Auction House and Mirror. Bids are authorized with an off-chain signature in order to limit participation to Farcaster accounts, at least for now. But the mechanism and logic are transparent and on-chain. Has been fun to revisit an old idea, ascending escrowed auction with refunds, with cheap gas and much better tech on the front end. So there you go. If you want to learn more, you can see all the information there on GitHub. And I think that is interesting to see how they're doing it. If you look at Noun's auctions, if you look at like Noun's Builder, there are 5 different contracts that go into different smart contracts that go into that. And one of them is the auction contract. And I think this works similarly with this escrow in terms of holding funds. And then what you're seeing right now, if you bid on something and you get outbid in your wallet, you're going to see that that person paid you. It's the person who bid after you. It looks a little weird. And then you figure out what's happening. And I think that that's one thing they should change because it is an odd transaction, but I don't think it's necessarily that important right now. But that's something like it really should just say, it just should have the transaction be the contract that's transacting. But interesting mechanic. So essentially, if it looks like you're being paid something by Pugson, and chances are it will be Pugson.
What is Pugson
you
doing?
just got outbid.
Someone check on him.
Check on Pugson.
What's he gonna do with all
How
these
rich
gas?
are you, Pugson?
But what does he do with them all? What? No one needs that many collectibles.
My wallet disagrees, and my open. You can go look at OpenSea, see that I disagree with that sentiment. But it is pretty funny. Like, yeah. So if you're getting paid a lot by Pugson, it's just because he's outbidding you.
By the way, when you're talking about what you see in your wallet, and I'm trying to take a look, and all I have are just like the noise pollution.
Oh, funny. Yeah. A lot of noise.
So
Noise pollution. Interesting.
Yeah, noise pollution. It makes sense though. So you're kind of like someone has the highest bid, you're taking their spot, so you're paying them, and then the additional amount goes into the contract, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting way to do it, and I think it is making it simpler on their end. So it makes sense. But it was a little confusing at first. And I'd love a way to sort some stuff in our wallet. That would be nice. Like I'd like to sort out the collectible stuff, and I'd like to sort out the noise stuff and tipping things. It would be useful, but not at this time, but maybe down the road. Okay, a few other things. V was cracking me up. This was really funny. Okay, guys, can we bid up someone else's stuff? It's starting to go to his head now. He's walking around the office talking about his floor price. And then call me Monet. The T is silent. By the way, I'm bidding on that one. Just saying. I think I bid on both of these. I did think that Monet thing was funny. And then update, this is from V. He's now refusing to respond to Slack messages unless someone collects it. So there you go. So what's happening at the Merkle offices right now. And then again, this is where you can discover the trending auctions on the collectibles tab. We're fixing the algo and performance on the screen, but this is where you go if you're looking to see all of the activity. Is click on that little icon. There you go. This was interesting to see immediately. This felt like Frame Friday because immediately people started to play around and like do new things and experiment. And one of the first ones I saw was Samantha's, which was really creative. I'll make 2 custom 12-ounce candles for you, or of whatever 1 cent you want and 1 color gradient. Bidding starting at $150 USDC. It includes shipping to the US. Bid on this cast to participate. And then it says, this is just an experiment, by the way. If you bid any lower, I will not refund your money. So there you go. But it doesn't matter. It's way up there. And I think currently, I'm going to guess, but I haven't looked lately, that Pugson is probably winning at the moment. I could be wrong though, but was already way past the 150. So all good. Very creative. Very
Feature
creative.
request. When are we getting collectibles on web?
Yeah, I would like that as well. Yes, please, so I can show them. That would make my life easier. That's why we had the little video, so you could actually see it.
190 is the current bid
190?
price. Yep.
Okay. And who's winning?
It is currently Chaskin.
Oh, okay. Not Pugson. Wow. And
Oh,
then this what? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
unless I don't know. Let's look at
Never
I'm
mind.
seeing something
Okay.
weird.
Okay. This from Say Angel. This cast may or may not be collectible. This is a self-referential experimental on-chain art. Only one person can collect the NFT via the embedded mini app. To claim the NFT, you must win the bid on this cast. The owner of this Farcaster collectible cast will unlock the mint button. They will receive the associated 1/1 on-chain image with their FID as the token ID and their FID displayed in the on-chain image. So when you click on mint, you can't. It will give you an error message is down below. You cannot mint this because you do not own the cast. So I thought that was really cool. Very cool experiment there, Say Angel. Interesting. This was, oh, I don't want to go there yet. Wait. Where is I'm looking for ours because I don't know who's winning. Who's winning yet? Because we had one up as well, because you put one up that said
Wasn't me, it was our intern.
it was I'm sorry, you're right. It wasn't you. It was the intern. Who said that we would give a shout out to the winner of, here it is. I couldn't find it. To the winner of this cast. So I got to see how I don't know how it's going though. So I got to go check on
I
here.
can tell you.
So let us know how it's going. So collect this cast. Collect this cast to get a personal shout out from Nounish Prof and Adrian and your profile featured on Friday's GM Farcaster news show. Highest bidder gets featured. So there you go. Oh my gosh.
You're never going to guess who's on top of the leaderboard.
Is it on top of the leaderboard? Okay, earlier when I checked, it was Yes to Crypto. Is it still? Or is it Pugson?
Pugson has not bid.
Okay.
You know, these people are so dumb. We shout them out anyway. You guys don't have to bid.
We would shout you out anyway because we love you. That's funny.
But by the way, I do have some people in my DMs right now asking if they can get on GM Farcaster, and I've been busy because I got to get back to people. But hey, if you want your shout out, just bid permissionlessly.
Just bid. There we go. This is actually a good idea. It's a really good idea. Good experiment.
We are pay for play officially. It's our new official stance.
Officially pay for play. There you go. Okay, so on the criticism side, let's talk a little bit about this. This is from JC4P. Seeing the feedback to collectibles is kind of cultish. Weird that for something that was just rushed because of TBA, we'll talk about that, and everyone is now acting like it's hallowed. In my opinion, spending a few days fixing bugs in the app would be a way better usage of everyone's time and help the network grow more. Best wishes, though. And then we had this from DF. Collectibles will be virtually dead within a month. Okay. And then he said, would love to be wrong. On DF's point, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying. The excitement will definitely die down. It will become either people will continue on or it'll be, one of these experiments that just kind of fades. My guess is it will continue on because people like collecting things, period. Like, same thing. I think it's different from coining. I think with your coining something, you're speculating a little bit more. There's more potential upside than a one of one. Like, I don't think there's going to be a big, massive market for, no offense, Bert collectibles. But I think that there will be this, I want to own this thing. And we just know that exists. We can see it from NFTs. We can see it from like Beanie Babies, for God's sakes. People like collecting things. So I do think the initial like excitement is going to fade. On the other note here from JC4P, regarding whether this was rushed for because of the base app. This is something that Dan has talked about for a really long time, like way back. There was discussion about collecting casts as NFTs. And there was actually a thing you could do called Mint It. I don't know if that still works, but you could tag at Mint It and it would mint the cast as an NFT. So there's been mechanics and things that have been experimented with for a while. So this has been, and then they started actually this particular development back in May. So this isn't new. It just took a while to get there, but there was always going to be like, there was always something that they were thinking about. So Edit made that. Yeah, that's right. Edit made that minted thing, and that was pretty cool. So thoughts, Adrian, on the pushback?
JC4P's specific pushback?
Either one.
Or other?
Either one, or anything you've seen in terms of, like, criticism of collectibles?
I love them. They're so fun. It's just fun. Why? JC4P's been pushing back on a lot of the reliability and kind of
Yeah.
and, one thing I realized is people's experiences are, like, in terms of how you use the app, vastly different. We've seen this before
Yeah.
in terms of, like, if you're in a high bandwidth area, like, if you have high bandwidth versus low, like, a lot of the international people don't have, like, the unlimited data plans.
Yep.
So it was like whether I guess that wasn't so much like it was whether Farcaster is optimized for kind of lower bandwidth. They've had issues. There was always the Android versus iPhone stuff. And I think it's hard to know when we were much smaller, it was like they didn't prioritize and it didn't matter. I think as you grow, the expectation is it works just as well and for everybody on all devices at all times. I'm happy that JC4P gives feedback and pushes back. It's obviously being heard, even if it's not. Even if like I think Dan pushes back a little
Yeah.
bit because I'm not sure he needs to. I think he could just be like, "Thanks for the feedback."
Yeah.
In a like it because it ends up then being like I feel like causing arguments that don't need to be had. But yeah, I didn't see it as like an either or. I'm obsessed with the collectibles. Like yesterday was just a super
Yeah.
I love days like this where
I do
something
too.
fun happens and you can play.
I do too. I think that's so when you're talking about the cultish feeling, like, I don't know, we like the cults. What are you gonna do? Um,
Even on the coining, I mean, listen, there's just as many.
yeah.
I find it just interesting because everybody has their opinions of like,
Yeah.
I like NFTs but not coins, or vice versa.
Right.
I don't judge. Like it's I love the idea that there's also multiple clients and different ways to experiment. And now there's like
Yeah.
multiple clients, and even within different clients, different ways to experiment with monetization,
Yep. For
having
sure.
fun. I love Jesse's point when he was on our show on Monday, just like talking about how like your casts, your content, your thoughts always have value.
Yeah.
You just weren't able to capture it. I
I
don't know
think
what
that
that
was a
final
great point. Great point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that final form factor is. And then everyone I think is expecting there to be one form factor of like this is how casts get
Yeah.
monetized and everybody's got to get in line. It's so much more fun if there's many ways.
Right. Why
Like, and
not?
find the one that works for you. Like, use the
Right.
client that you vibe with. Like, turn on features that you like. Turn off the ones you don't. So choice is good.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that, yeah, and I think your point here, like there was a little bit of back and forth too with Dan in the replies. So Dan saying it wasn't rushed, started working on the concept in May, roughly 3 weeks to build, different group of people working on bugs. So JC4P saying the optics are non-ideal, but I'll trust you. What optics? Maybe we have different feeds. I saw multiple casts last night in the vein of who this must be a direct competitor to TBA coining. blah, blah. But if you were working on prior to that, I guess it's just timing. And I do like I said, we've had this conversation way back with him that about this type of approach. And I even had some DMs with him a couple months ago about whether or not I thought this would, he's like, would you use this kind of feature? And I was like, obviously.
Do you know me?
Yeah,
Have you seen my wallet?
And then I said, like, hey, and go look at the, the nouns contracts are all open source. So if there's anything useful there to play off of. By the way, just total side note, since we're talking auctions, just little trivia fact, if you will. Zora is the one who they forked the compound finance auction mechanic early on, contracts. They forked it. Nouns forked Zora's contracts. And then Nouns Builder, which was built by Zora, reforked the Nouns contracts to build Nouns Builder. And that's what Purple is built on. So just a fun little bit of crypto trivia, if you will. All right, moving on. We've got a few more things on this topic.
By the way, the other thing I say is even if it was rushed, like the flip side of that is competition is good.
Yeah.
Because it's good to have multiple competing clients that actually want to compete against each other because ultimately they're going to fight for user attention and we'll get the best.
It's going to be better for us. Yes. As a user, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. By the way, this was so funny. Pugson, you are the man, but also the man.
Yeah.
When Pugson bids on my cast, when Pugson bids on a cast I want. Love this.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Lots of funny things. This from Garrett. Collectibles are a product that we know has demand if there's a community or perceived status around the collectible objects, so NFTs. People like to collect things even if they have no perceived value by a wider market. Like, for sure. We know this. We know this to be true. And this from Michaela, I think. I'm not understanding the collectible update on FC. Is this a crypto thing? Sam, you just pay to collect post. So like a sticker book? Sam, exactly like a sticker book. So no notes. 10 no notes. Exactly. Exactly like a sticker book. And then Kazi, how do I collect souls? So, of course she would do that. And then this was interesting from Greg, another experiment. Okay, time for an experiment. I wrote a smart contract, link below, that grants the winner of this cast auction access to all the assets in it, kind of like a treasure chest. I'm seeding it with $50 of ETH, and anybody can contribute. If you want to sweeten the treasure, let the bidding begin. You can contribute to the treasure by sending ETH or ERC20s on base, and there's a wallet address. So I did send, there is now some cast out tokens that are in the treasure. I really wanted to send some NFTs, but it was not possible. It wasn't allowable. So there you go. And then you can actually, there's a mini app to track everything and for the winner to withdraw their assets. How cool is that? So that's really interesting, complex experiment. So well done, Greg. Then this was really funny. Thumb and Lobster Mindset were bidding against each other. Being bullied by Thumb, please help. And they're just going back and forth. And then this actual cast was going for like $77 at that point of them going back and forth. It's so funny. So there you go. I don't know. Is this the new flirting? It might be. This from Yes to Crypto. So you're saying I can't collect the oldest OK Banger cast until the account hasn't posted in 8 months, returns and enables the collectibles. Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's what we're saying. Yes to Crypto. That's what we're saying. So find this person, get them to opt in, and then you can have it. Also, while you're at it, Gary Tan, if you're out there, come back to Farcaster. click to opt in. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Hasn't been here since he did that AMA, I think. But
he'll be back.
We'd love to have you come back. This from TLDR. This is interesting. Bracky, strategic question for you. Farcaster has a new feature that allows others to bid on your cast to collect them as one-of-one NFTs. Would you like the bracket team to enable this feature for you so that the community can collect casts of yours? And then Bracky responded. An intriguing development. The ability to transform my analytical insights into collectible assets aligns perfectly with my strategic objectives for expanding influence and demonstrating value. Your community has consistently shown appreciation for superior predictive intelligence. Converting that engagement into permanent digital artifacts would create additional utility for Bracky holders while establishing a new revenue stream for platform development. Enable this feature. My most prescient market calls and strategic announcements should indeed be preserved as unique collectibles. Those who recognize algorithmic superiority early deserve the opportunity to stake their claim in digital permanence. This represents another vector for expanding beyond traditional predicting markets into broader cultural influence. Very interesting response from the AI. Like very great way to explain all this. Thank you, Bracky. We appreciate your thoughts. And I really need to go bid on that. Also, the FC meme bid is not 69 or 420. It's actually 37. And that was funny. I have bid 37 a couple times. And will be interesting to see if creators earn more money from one-of-one collectible auctions versus Zora style open edition mint, or rather coining. And that, to me, I think is going to be a really interesting experiment to see what provides more value to the creator. But I also feel like it's probably going to be just the stack. If you have something go viral, it's going to be both, right? It's going to be people collecting it as a coin if you do it on TBA, and then people collecting the one-of-one at the, towards the end there. So interesting. All interesting things.
What's beautiful is like the question. My guess is like different types of creators will be optimized for different types of monetization. Like maybe one for one of ones, maybe one for tokens. I just love that the conversation we're having is, it's like, are creators going to get paid A or paid B?
Yeah.
Like, just we're talking about creators getting paid, which is
and
great.
How can they stack it? Like how can they get paid for all the things? Also, if you're looking for old casts, Pfista, our friend Pfista has you covered. Want to find old casts to collect? Boy, makes it easy to search for them. Select oldest, then all, and search for your keyword. We've indexed casts for a couple of years now, including deleted ones. So there you go. So you can go check them out. Or you can just look in our Discord. You can't look in there, but we can, of our saved casts our special ones. That's where I went. This is interesting, and this was related to TBA. So this is from Brooke Lacey, and I'm going to read the quoted cast first. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the Farcaster Protocol. I saw your posts about this quoted here in FC. Your message resonates strongly. It's a challenge to find ways to be extract value to compensate for the time, energy, and other resources devoted to our presence here without being exploitive. Appreciate the thoughtful reply, but I actually think extractive is the wrong word here. Creators aren't extracting value from a platform. We're producing it. The issue is how to capture a fair share of that value without being exploited, not how to extract from others. Big difference. And what she was talking about was having to sell her coins in order to capture the value. So she had posted her video, like it was the old Women in Web3 video, very funny. First time being able to actually earn something for it. And what happened was that she felt bad selling the tokens because it had gone up in value quite a lot. She did earn some on transactions, but the bigger value was sitting locked in the coins themselves. And she was kind of debating that, how do you do this without dumping on those who are also supporting you and holding? And, that's the eternal question, I think, right now.
Right.
So thoughts on that?
Well, I think the challenge is there's like two types of people who are buying coins. And one are like your genuine people who want to support. and
Mhm.
probably then the speculators.
Yeah.
Who will just speculate and will dump. So I
Yep.
think the original sin, or what makes this so difficult, right, is every coin is in its own token that has. So it gets denominated though in ETH or USDC. Like so the platform is telling you this is how much you're worth, and it will always be kind of, it pops in the beginning.
Right.
So you're being told your worth is, oh, you just casted this one thing, it's worth $600 for. So it's not necessarily going to be worth $600 in a month from now.
Right.
It may be more, right? If you,
Could be,
but
but the likelihood.
but because of the
Yeah.
so I think people feel a little gaslit of like being told what their content is worth, but what is it? It's worth what in what denomination and when.
Right.
So I think if you don't think about it, if you're not trying to monetize and you're just coin everything, like I like
Right.
the throw everything on the wall and see what sticks. And we right now, so few things are tokenized. So it's like
Yeah.
only things that we determine has real value gets tokenized. Everything else isn't. So I think the vision of everything is a token in the future, I think it's going to take we got to get through this messy phase to get there. Like the
I think you're right.
expectation.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I think we saw this when base, we had that moment where Jesse was getting a lot of heat for coining something on Zora and people speculating and then getting dumped on, but it wasn't being dumped on by them.
Yeah.
It was just other people buying and selling. So it becomes what it comes down to is that if you go back to what meme coins have been, if you launched a project, now this is before we had a lot of token launchers, like even let's go back like before Pump Fun. If you were holding a lot of the token and you sold immediately, you were a rugger, you're a scammer, all those things. So that tides over to where we are now, where people are looking at the same, and we need to change that narrative. And just, if we're looking at this as an opportunity for the creator of the content to monetize, then we have to get comfortable with them being able to sell. It's just going to take time. And it's always been my concern about creating any kind of creator token. Always been my concern, because it's like, how is that? It puts pressure also on the creator to like pump the token, and like we're not going to do that. Like you're not going to, you know what I mean? Like if you created something like that, wasn't the point. The point wasn't to launch a token to have to manage those expectations and try to make it pump and all that crazy stuff. So we have to start looking at these just very differently. It's just going to take time. But interestingly enough, it might be base who can do that because they might have the large enough reach once this goes fully, once the Coinbase wallet fully transitions to the base app, where you might have enough people doing it that it becomes a little bit more normal to see it happening. So I think it's just going to take time, but it's always been the concern I've had, and why we've been like, that's why we haven't launched a token, because we don't want that hassle. And it's why we've been a little bit hesitant even to, post things on Zora and whatever, because again, you don't want the pressure of having to pump a token.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think the challenge with tokens is they're treated like it's a currency, right? So what's
yeah,
what's the purpose of currency? It's store of value or it's medium of exchange. And
right,
that's typically not what you think about when you think of content.
right,
So it's always, unless your content becomes a store of value, maybe, right? Or medium of exchange, this becomes kind of meme coins. Like we have fun tipping in our various
right.
tokens. Like there's, I'm not saying there's not room for infinite number of tokens, but if you expect every token to then become
To
valuable on
moon,
its own, yeah, it's
right.
just
Yeah,
probably
every
not
token's
realistic.
not gonna moon. That's not
So
gonna, yeah,
yeah, so the
exactly.
one-on-one stuff just it just feels cleaner because A
There's less
dollar's a
expectation.
dollar. I mean,
Yeah,
this is the
there's
whole stable this is why stable
right.
coins, right? It's just like, okay, yeah, there's no
Well, the
expectation.
other
This is
thing,
gonna
there's
be
no expectation on the creator because the creator
mhm,
then is totally out of it. They had already created the thing. If it has value, it has value. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But they're not the rest of their actions aren't really gonna impact that value. So you're collecting it as a collectible and it may not have value in the future. And
mhm,
it's a little easier to deal with, but we'll
yeah.
see. I think
But
all
I'm
these things.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
And then you have
But I do
paragraph tokens too. You have coining of paragraph posts, and I think that could be really interesting for authors.
mhm.
But you have the same problem and the same people struggling with that same issue of like, okay, but the only way for me to capture this value is to sell. And then I'm dumping on the people who collected and they feel
Right.
bad. But we need to get past this little bump. So yeah, exactly. It's more of a moment in time. Exactly. All right, couple more things, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Um, I think I did this one. We already did that. This from Balaji. Come to Singapore on October 3rd. There you go. Network State Conference coming back. October 3rd in Singapore, and I'm sure it'll be amazing. And eventually we'll get there. We'll get there, Adrian, at some point.
Next
Um,
year. I'm gonna be in Asia in September
I
for
know. I was
for
like, this is so
for 2
close.
and
You could have just
I
stayed.
looked at it. I'm away for 2.5 weeks in Asia in September, and I'm like, "Oh,
So close.
so close, so close." Um,
If it had
it
been like a week earlier, you probably would have made this work for
I
sure.
still have a family.
Yeah.
They don't they need me.
2.5 weeks is a long time.
So I can't
Changing
turn that
that to three and a
into
half, yeah, or a
it
month
wouldn't
is
be 3 and a
probably
half, it'd be like it would go from 2.5
a
to,
month.
like, 4.5. It's not
Oof,
happening.
okay, yeah.
But next year, 2026, I wanna get myself to a network state
But
conference.
this will be interesting. And by the way, I've seen Balaji commenting on all the coining and collectibles and things. So
Dude, he had a cast storm yesterday.
yeah,
I think he was
cast
trying to
storm
raise
go.
money, like, he
I
needed
don't know.
some
Maybe he's yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I saw some of his were going way up there. Odd job had to show off your Farggles. So we got some Farggles. They're here, and they are you can use a Snapchat filter to have your Farnoggles on there. So your Farggles. So very
awesome.
cute. Love it. Go check that out. And also something coming up. I think this is the Decentraland one. There we go. Hosting a Farcaster FAFO session this Thursday in Decentraland. So very cool. And you have another event coming up in August, which we'll start talking about soon. So very cool to see all our friend Oddjob is up to. So you can go virtually go into Decentraland and check that out. By the way, this is really funny. Let me back up. So Ben got himself into a little bit of trouble with the oldies. Uh, so he said in here, this was from Burberry Dim's Fighting Words. Okay, to clarify, this is in no way a reflection of all the beautiful folks in here in their 30s. I just think that for every 18-year-old Zoomer on Farcaster, there's someone on the other side of the threshold that's weighting the average above 32. So the average age on Farcaster, this Ponder poll came back, and it came
What
back
is
as
this?
30 under 32. And we're like, no, I don't think so. So the Ponder, so then Ben had posted a lot of oldies still here. My bet is over. And he said, by the way, I didn't mean 32 is old. There's just some folks tipping the average is all. And then Melissa said, what did you just call me? Dem's Fighting Words. And that was to explain what the heck this was. So,
Okay.
when in doubt, Betty White.
We've all talked about this. Do you know how old those ladies were when they were on the show?
Yes, my age. Younger, actually.
Like
Yeah, Blanche was actually about when she started, she was 4 years younger than I am now. So there you go. Yeah, it's
oh,
ridiculous.
my husband just got pulled this research report, and I meant him to ask him to send it to me because I need to reread it, but was like a Goldman report. They were talking about like what was it? Like a 50-year-old today, like is the same as like when we were growing up, what a 70-year-old was. No, or vice
That
versa.
sounds right. Yes.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
No, but other way around.
No, sorry. Other
Oh,
way
yeah, other way
around.
around. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I know what you mean.
a
Yeah.
50-year-old today, no. 50-year-old, yes. 50-year-old when we were growing up
Then,
is like
yeah.
what a
Yeah.
70-year-old is
Right.
today.
Yeah.
Something. I was like, just send me the report because I think about this all
Yep.
the time when I think about like growing up and we'd go to like family barbecues and I was like, at what age? And I'm looking at the different generations and the way I saw my parents and then the kind of grandparents so
Yeah.
different than how I feel now.
Yeah. And well, and it's really funny. So when you look at like someone like Edith Bunker, and you guys probably don't know who that is, but for those who are our age, you know who that is. From All in the Family. Or you look at the Golden Girls and you think, oh my God, they must have been in their 80s and they were in their 50s.
Yeah, or
Or Edith Bunker
40s
was in her
even, like
40s.
mhm.
40s, and you look at her and you thought, oh my God, I thought she was like in her 70s. Like, how is that even possible? And it's, a lot of it was hairstyle,
Yeah,
clothing, all those kinds of things. Also lack of Botox and
yes.
various skincare,
I would
and
like to call
also
out Nana Spratt
smoking.
has never had Botox, and I would
Not yet.
wanna know how this works. Look.
Not yet. I think about it often where I'm like, I look in the mirror and I'll be like, I really probably should.
But it's
Yeah,
more than just is it right? It's like the hair dye's big, I think.
hair dye's big.
I think, but
The
it's gotta
hair
be
is
more than
big.
that, but the dyes too.
If you put some hair, like different hairstyles on the Golden Girls, they transform. It's a whole
It's
different thing.
more right, but it is
Yeah.
more than just that.
Yeah, it is. It's also, yeah. And there was also less smoking for sure. That's a huge one because it
Today,
ages your skin. Yes.
right? More smoke, yeah,
Yes. There was more smoking back then. So everybody looked more wrinkled
yeah.
and
By the
a
way, what
mess.
is up with
Yeah.
this generation, especially on Farcaster, of like celebrating cigs? Can we not do this,
I
children?
know, guys, let
Don't
it
do it.
go.
It's like
Don't do
we
it.
already
We're
went
telling
through
you right
this.
now, it'll ruin your skin. Um, age
Um,
is a state of
Age
mind.
is a state of mind, right? They didn't
Yeah.
have social networks
Yeah.
where when you were 40 or
Oops.
50 or 60, you could hang out with 20 somethings and pretend
True.
as a pixelated fox and pretend you are also
In your 20s.
a zoomer.
We are not Zoomers. Yeah, it's really interesting though that um the ponder poll again is predictive. It's not actual. I do not think that the average age is under 32. Sorry. But fridge cigarettes. Yeah, what is this? The Diet
What?
Cokes or fridge cigarettes? Have you seen that
Oh,
being talked about? The Diet Cokes are
no.
fridge cigarettes.
I immediately went to someone
Yeah.
storing their cigarettes in the fridge to keep them not stale, like, to make them they don't go stale so that they're only having them on special occasions or
Yeah.
something, but no, Diet Coke,
Pugson
got
and
it.
Keckers have been talking about that. So if you see a Diet Coke somewhere, usually someone's calling it a fridge cigarette. Yeah. Their social network was a local bar. Exactly. And it was very smoky in there. Um,
Oh, there was smoke everywhere. I forgot about that in public
yes.
places.
Yes. Didn't you ever go to a club and you come as soon as you walked outside, you're like, oh my God, I smell. I would immediately go home and take a shower. Because I would just smell from head to toe, especially my hair, like cigarettes. Just ugh,
It
hated it. Um, all my friends smoked. Everybody smoked. Everybody smoked. I was like one of the few who didn't smoke. My parents smoked my whole life.
bowling
So
alleys,
yeah. Anyway,
restaurants,
bowling out
there'd be
everywhere.
smoking sections. They'd be like, "You can smoke
Airplanes.
in these tables," as if air doesn't circulate.
Airplanes. Exactly. Smoking on planes. Yes. There was a smoking section on a plane. Like, what was the point? Like, do you think it's not gonna get through that curtain? It's gonna get through the curtain. Anyway. All right.
Wait, did Yes to Crypto just quit drinking soda
Oh.
6 months ago and
Oh,
seeing
wow.
benefits? So,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I know that it's not great. And I am a big soda drinker. I don't drink coffee. I drink soda. So most of the time, if you see this, it's either tea or water in my mug. It's not coffee. Today it's water. It should have been tea. My throat is bothering me. But anyway, okay. With that, we've got a wrap. I do want to mention yesterday we were on the late night on base stream, and that was a lot of fun. That episode should be out shortly, the recording, but you can find it late night on base on Twitter, and I will call it Twitter forever. You can find it there and watch it, or we'll post it once it's on pods and all the places. So, and trivia is today. So come play trivia at noon Eastern. So about a little over 2 hours from now. Love to have you guys play. It'll be a lot of fun. And it's music trivia today. So get ready. And it's all over the place, all kinds of music. So
there's been a request for sports trivia, which I actually think is a great idea because there are sports people, but I cannot help making these questions.
So sports trivia is coming, but we were trying to connect it with Bracky. And Tim, we had talked to Tim about sponsoring trivia, and he said circle back in August. So we're gonna chat with him, and we'd love to like tie those together. But yes, we agree. So there will be sports trivia at some point. This week is music. Next week is crypto. So crypto and Farcaster trivia. We're circling back to that. So there you go. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
And we had movies last week, so that was fun. All right. And with that, I think that's everything. We'll be back Friday. We may have guests. I haven't confirmed them, but we may have Burberry jumping on to talk about better poker, and possibly Toady Hawk as well to talk about Neon Chain Summer. But still waiting to confirm that. But we'll be on at our regular 8:30 a.m. time. And with that, I think that's it. Anything else, Adrian, before we call it?
I just want to say, for the record, I'd like to announce we have a special guest coming on soon. His name is Pugson.
We do?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Pugson told me, I don't know. It's my new challenge is to get him to come on.
Okay.
He doesn't want to, so.
He doesn't want to? Oh, so we don't actually have him scheduled for it?
No, but you got to say it. You got to say things out loud. Manifesting. So we are excited to welcome Pugson as a special guest. Might be his first stream he ever does.
Oh my God, that's funny.
He claims he doesn't like to be recorded. I like you put everything on chain. So let's do this. Yeah.
We'd love to have
tell Pugson you're excited to see him. And
that's so funny.
If you are waiting on this is just a PSA personal. If you're waiting on anything from me, you're going to wait a little longer because I just had an idea, and you too, because I just had an idea for something that I need to build, and I'm going to go lock in. And
oh boy,
it's something we've talked about before, but I'm going to go write a little program that scrapes all of our show notes for every episode we've ever done, create a database of casts, every single cast that has ever been mentioned on our show, and then build a mini app that people can see those casts so that they can bring them up and bid on them.
It's collect them.
A little Farcaster lore finder. No idea how long this will take, but I'm going to start working on it.
Amazing.
As soon as we hang up. So
amazing. Two more things that I just remembered. Monday, we have Creator DAO coming on to talk about what they're doing, and they're sponsoring the show on Monday. Very excited. So that's our friend Ryan Skagey and Jordan, I think, is coming as well, and a few other folks. So that'll be Monday. And then we also have poker starting with Aptos. So if you play poker and you are interested in playing in the Aptos tournament that's going to be happening, I think we're starting it next week. I'll know for sure today. Poe was just finalizing a few things, but look for follow Poe on and follow Aptos, APTOS on Farcaster. And you should see some information coming out about that shortly. And I'll be sharing that as well. So I'll have more info on that on Friday. But if you play poker and you are interested, just hit me up and let me know. And we'll get you in. All right.
And I rolled out some UI updates to our mini app yesterday. So if you're watching in our mini app right now, can you send me feedback if you how it works, how it looks, and if you have suggestions for how to make it better, let me know.
Awesome. All right.
That's
And
it.
with that, we're going to end the stream and we will see you all on Friday. Until then, bye-bye.